Hello, hello, hi, folks. Welcome. The Wednesday in hopes that you squeeze more out of your day than the day squeezed out of you. I am Sean Azimi with SideGigSean.com, where I help you start and grow your online business. Welcome. Good to see you. So, sorry I'm late. I was on time, except that all of a sudden I smell this burning thing, right? Gloria, what's up? So I smelled this. I was gonna be on time. I was actually gonna be 5 minutes early. And then all of a sudden, I'm smelling this like this burning smell, and I'm thinking, well, I usually have my nighttime tea um, brewing, usually for a good like 20 minutes or something, just really on warm, and then that's that's a whole other life. But I thought it was my tea, right? Like, this really smells like something's burning, right? Yeah, burn some stuff. Oh my goodness, this smell. My neighbor is gonna. Oh no. So I've been like, and it's freezing, and I had all the doors open, so this and this will be a highlight for next year's review. But yeah, the smell is so strong. I know. Oh, I know she's gonna complain, but hopefully she won't. We'll see. We'll see. So anyway, fans going on, all kinds of stuff is going. All right, let's get into it. All right. So, I was talking to a couple, and this has come up like several times, and I've been meaning to talk about it, but I don't think I've talked about it. I don't think I have, but I've been meaning to talk about it. I never have got to. I've never got around it, right? And that is, I was talking to a friend, and then another friend was talking to me, and sometimes, let's see, how do I want to say this? Sometimes you have a hard time deciding over the conversation, right? You have a difficult time deciding over the conversation. So I have a friend that is going through some stuff, right? Let's just say that, and is going through some stuff, and was running it by me, and um, you know, I, if listen to me, if you run stuff by me, then you'll already know I'm gonna give it to you, like the way I think. Right? I'm just gonna give it to you. So this is a good friend of mine. So um, you know, they know they know that I'm just gonna say it, right? So when they were talking about the story and everything, I was paying attention to the story, and okay, I really don't want to give this stuff away. That's why. So based on her profession, I'm gonna try to like not give any hints or clues. Based on her profession, right? Because of the profession she had, I thought, I thought she'd be way more equipped, let's just say, for this type of a situation. Oh man, this is so. I don't think I've ever talked this vague before. It's just because I don't want to talk about anybody. But the example is really good. I'm actually going to give you two examples. So this is one of them. The other one is going to be much clearer than this one. Oh my goodness, probably the smell. But so based on her profession, I thought she'd be way more equipped to be able to handle the situation. So I just laid it out like I usually do if you ask my opinion. And I think she was really shocked. I think she was really shocked. And the reason why she was shocked is I don't think it was because of it was just me, what I said. It's just because what I said and I mean how I said it, right? And one thing that I told her, I said, there's going to be three outcomes from what I'm suggesting to you: this, or this. And if you think about it, all three really you win in all three of them. Like you're ahead of the game, right? And so you may be ahead there, but the initial step is having that hard conversation, right? And sometimes you're not ready to have that hard, hardcore conversation. Maybe you've been married for so long, or maybe you've been dating somebody for so long, or and I'm not talking about like a month or 2 or 2 weeks. That don't count. I'm talking about like a long time, right? 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. Like you know, you're almost married, right? So sometimes we are not ready to have those hard core conversations because those three outcomes is one that we don't really want. That's so huge. So we avoid having that hard conversation. Now, in my lifetime, it's fun. In my lifetime, I have had to have, well, I mean, a couple people had the conversation with me, but I've had to have some hard, hard conversations, both in personal, not as much in relationship, not maybe a couple times, but well, maybe more than a couple, maybe a couple thousand, no, maybe a couple times, but more maybe my professional life because I've always, well, most of the time I've been a manager or a team lead, or I've had people that I've I've overseen for the production and things of that sort. So I definitely have had to have some hard conversations. Sometimes I wasn't really emotionally involved, although I tend to get emotionally involved because I really care. But I would do my best to take my emotions out so that I could really deliver that hard message, that hard conversation, right? And which leads me to this. So you got to have that hard conversation. Sometimes you avoid it, like I said, you avoid it because you already know one of the outcomes is something that you don't want to hear, right? You don't want to hear that. Like maybe you've one of the yeah one of the toughest conversations I had um, in my professional life was when I decided to leave that one major company that I was working with, and decided to just start something on my own, right? And this was back in 2005, and that was a tough one. That was very difficult because I was talking to the vice president, and then the CEO walks in. The CEO like loved me, right? We were really good buddies. We're talking about like 3,000 employee company. Yeah. So that was a really tough conversation because they really didn't want me to leave, right? And I've had to have that conversation, like hard conversation in my personal life as well. But here's what I gotta tell you. that hard conversation is everywhere. It's not just, "Oh, you know what? We've been married for 20 years." Yeah. Oh, it's, like, everywhere. Have you ever had to have a hard conversation with your boss? Have you ever had to have a hard conversation with your coworker, like, "Leave me alone"? Like, "Stop." You know, I have. Oh, I have, right? Have you ever had to have a hard conversation with your, like, dog? With little guy, I've had a couple of tough conversations with little guy. You know, one time the only time, but he ran away with his leash, ran in the middle of the street. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had to have a freaking hard conversation with him. So have you ever had a hard conversation with your kids if you're a parent, right? It's not just like, oh, you know what? It's just in marriage. It's everywhere. It even carries into entrepreneurship. Let me tell you something. When you're in this side of the world, like in my world, in network marketing world, in direct sales world, online world, it's you gotta have some hard conversations. Sometimes you're gonna get to experience things that you really don't want to or weren't prepared for or you weren't expected, right? So sometimes things like that will happen, and sometimes you gotta have those hard conversations. Um, I know, so, but I when it gets to that point, um, normally, most of the time, I'm really good at switching my channel, right? Flipping the switch. I can most of the time I can easily switch my channel and if I need to be serious, I'm serious, which I'm not most of the time. But so I can switch that channel, I can have that conversation, but that even trickles into like entrepreneurship. I'll tell you, sometimes you're gonna this is well, what I was gonna say. So sometimes you're gonna hear stuff within the team. Sometimes you're gonna learn stuff about the team. Sometimes you're gonna hear, um, you know, there's a leak. There's somebody in the team that's not too happy and is like complaining or what have you. I wanna point something out. This is just kind of came to me. It's got to be from the man above. Um, because I didn't think about this at all about this life. But um, now I'm not an expert by no means of the Bible, right? Like not at all, right? But correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Jesus have like 12 followers, disciples, like 12 of them, right? And then didn't he have one of the 12 like backstab him? Don't you think he had to have some hard conversations? What about the time that Peter says, "Hey man, I want to walk on water. How come you get to walk on water? I want to do that." And then he starts walking up, and then he just clunks. It's all like, "What happened?" It's all like, "Well, what happened to your faith? You gotta have faith, right? You gotta have that hard conversation. It's like, what happened to you?" Sometimes you got to have those hard conversations with your team or team members. Sometimes you got to make really hard decisions for your team. I have definitely been exposed and learned. I mean, in my mortgage life and 38 jobs and all that stuff, all day, every day. I'm quite familiar with Most, I would never say all. I would never say I'm not one of those guys that say I've seen it all, but I've seen a lot. I've seen. I probably handle most cases, most situations. But was that the neighbor just knocking on my door? Are you kidding me? No, I don't think so. Are you guys serious right now? I'm not opening the door, that's for sure. Anyway, man, that is crazy. Okay, well, that's the first time in the life. Um, Back to here. Yeah, so sometimes you're gonna have to make some tough decisions for your within the team, and it's not simple. It's not easy. In this time that I've been like really serious about network marketing, direct sales, and learning about the profession because I'm that kind of a guy. I like to learn. If I'm really like not just know my company, but I like to learn the profession. As I learn more and I understand more and I get involved more, man, there's so much stuff that it goes on behind the scenes. There's so many people that are doing it wrong. There's so many unethical people. There's so many people that like are in one company and are recruiting from another company, and it's just like they're just playing like dirty, right? I've talked about this one time 4 years ago. But this is one of my this is like one of my MLM turnoffs. Ooh, I should do a live on MLM turnoff. That's a good one. That's a good one, folks. That's a good one. So I'll give you one of them. All right, like if you're doing a weight loss, this is like so common, and it's so freaking annoying. Like you will not sit down with my team. Homie don't play that game. I'll freaking put a stop to it right away. I'm like, here's all what I am. Freaking, I'm like, no, no, not no. And here's all what I mean. Like, let's say you're with a weight loss company now for 6 months. Let's just say you're in there for 6 months, right? And let's say that um, 20 years ago you lost like 50 pounds, right? And then you use those pictures that were from another company for like this company. It's like, what the how's that? That's like such a turn. It's like you didn't use those products for this result. You didn't use these products that you're involved with to get this result. So that is not true. That is false. And we buy into that so much. I'm telling you, I wouldn't be surprised if 8 out of 10 of these pictures are not based on the new products. I'm telling you, I said it all the time. You won't see it in my team, that's for sure. I know how you look like when you started, and I know how you look like right now. So nice try. Yeah, we don't- we're very authentic and and real, transparent. Right? So you see that all the time, right? And sometimes you got to have those hard conversations. Sometimes you got to tell your peeps, man, hey, listen, that's not very genuine. That's not real. You're gonna have to have those conversations. And here's the two things that it's gonna give you, and I'll end it with this and see what we got. The one thing is that when you have those hard conversations, a lot of times you're gonna gain a different type of respect, a different level of respect, one that you didn't have before, right? Now, I want to be very, very distinctive here. I'm not talking about putting the fear of Jesus in them, scaring the crap out of people. No, I'm not saying dictatorship, I'm talking leadership, right? So one thing you're gonna get a whole new respect, right? And the second thing is it's most likely it's gonna fix the problem, right? It's gonna fix the problem. Or the problem is gonna walk itself out. I mean, that's just what's gonna happen, right? Because it's just not gonna be an environment for it to be growing and develop it, right? It's just going to walk itself out. So um, I don't know where you are in life, and maybe this triggered something. Maybe you're like, oh, I gotta have that conversation. I don't want customer that, this, that one rep or that, whatever it may be. You may have to have that hardcore um, a conversation. One more thing I'll tell you, every time you have one, it gets a little bit easier the next time. I've had to have a few of them. So, I when I was in the mortgage industry, I'll give it to you real short. And I've talked about this one time before. One of the things that I was pretty popular for is if people were talking like just yapping and complaining and nagging or what have you, it just didn't make any sense, or they were rude or whatever that was that wasn't supposed to be. My go-to would be stop, stop, stop. I would say it 3 times. I know it stop. No matter how heated or unheated it was, it was a trigger. They would just stop, and then we would have a conversation. Because you can't have a conversation with somebody just yapping away at 300 miles an hour, right? That's not a conversation. So I want you to really think about that. Sometimes we avoid, like I said, we avoid those hard. Believe you me, I have postponed hard conversations before, many times. Well, not many times, but I have before, right? And it bugs you. It eats at you, right? It takes space in your like head. You know what I mean? It's like "Grr, I got like it's in the back of your head, in front of your head, and the side of your head. It like bugs you, right? So I'm encouraging you to get some rhino skin, right? And go for it. Sometimes you can have those hard conversations, whether it's your kid, your spouse, your neighbor, your upline, downline, sideline, teammate, prospect, whatever it may be, your puppy, your dog, whoever it may be. I encourage you not to back down from that hard conversation because, especially if you're in a leadership position or a coaching position. This is not to take this and just like yap them across the face with. No, this is you're using this as an opportunity to coach and to teach and to basically clarify the situation. So I encourage you to do that. With that, man, I yapped again forever. Hopefully, you guys got some love, some inspiration, some value. Drop your takeaways down below. Let this feed grow. And if you feel like this is worthy of sharing, tag your peeps to this. And with that, I am Sean Azimi, sidegigshawn.com, where I help you look, start, and grow your online business. Signing off until tomorrow when we do it all over again.